Yeah.
colony, they like start killing people, and
Oh,
then
and they'll start killing other princes.
yeah, they'll get like a prince or two, and then they'll level up, and they'll get an ability, and then like then Hisoka or Crollo Lucifer is like chasing Hisoka, and then they get caught in the crossfire. And then you just have Kurapika, who's just like trying to analyze the situation, and then Togashi will employ his narrator bubble box, the clumsy, stupid narration bubble box.
We're gonna
Which
just
is
have we're gonna have a whole full page of text.
we won't even have
No,
any pictures. We'll just have half the page devoted to Togashi narration bubble box.
It's gonna turn into a fucking novel. You gotta love to be gone back yet.
Welcome to Lobster Magnet and Friends. I'm here with my buddy Goro Gregoro.
Hey, what's up?
Thanks to popular demand of people demanding it in the comments to hear our thoughts on Hunter x Hunter, I was able to rank, and Goro finishing up the cat painting he was working on forever. I was able to wrangle him away. Just for this. Thankfully, there weren't a billion chapters of like One Piece or Dr. Stone. I'm sorry, Dr. Stoners. I failed you horribly. Someday we'll get Goro there, and we'll have like a 3-hour discussion about the like, 30 plus chapters that he's missed of the entire Stone Wars, which has been pretty good. It's been pretty fucking good.
Yeah, so Dr. Stone's still going good.
Yeah, you want me to give you a little teaser to get you hyped?
Yeah, sure.
Senku.
Spoilers alert.
Spoiler alert, Senku makes a fucking tank.
Whoa.
Now you want to see that tank, don't you?
Well, actually, I still haven't seen the cell phones thing. Like, how did that? That still boggled me, and it made me really, hesitant to get back into Dr. Stone.
Oh fuck! You know it'll have all kinds of like 5th grade science to explain how it works.
Okay, all right. Well,
it's great. The cell phone arc's a lot of fucking fun. Like all the science expeditions in Dr. Stone.
All right.
Well, anyway, we are not here for Dr. Stone. We are here to talk about the last 2 chapters of Hunter x Hunter. So, Goro, what did you think about seeing Predator in action?
Predator was really cool. I think it was really neat to see like the cold calculating assassin, from beginning to end, and like how he was gonna succeed in the mission, and like just through like sheer analysis, and like he could have been caught up with the other security guards to become like influenced by Saleh's Nen Beast.
Yeah, that's I think what was the most satisfying is like all this arc is like been about people's plans not working out.
Yeah.
That's what we've like gotten consistently is like I'm gonna do this, but then I can't do this because shit does something went wrong. I didn't account for something. There was some other crap that happened, and now it was really satisfying for like not to have like some bullshit where it's like, oh no, I didn't account for it was a transmuter type. Oh, it beat my Nen Beast. To just like he was right on the money, and he created his weird little frog vagina monster that like consumes everything.
Yeah. Yeah, that was pretty satisfying, and Sally's power was probably gonna like be a big contender in the Succession War. Actually, he like unknowingly, like with his lazy, laid back attitude, like I think he could have potentially actually won the Succession War.
I don't know. That's like we'll talk
him
about
and,
this.
between him and Hockenberg, I think.
We'll talk about in the second chapter because like. Sally was like probably on one hand the least interesting and the least ambitious of the princes, but that's the one I kind of found him like one of the most interesting. It was like, what the heck is this guy gonna do? He was the Donald Trump of the fucking Kakin princes.
Yeah, I guess so.
He's just this slovenly guy who like lives in excess. He eats. He screws babes who are in it because he's
Like,
rich and
I guess
powerful.
he's not actively like trying to win the succession war.
But he
Like
did. He
he,
did say he had a plan
right?
that he was going to do something at the banquet, and I was like morbidly curious. Okay, like, are we going to
Maybe it's
find out?
like throw out a big party.
Is this guy gonna like actually do something, or is he just like a fuckwit and he's just gonna do something stupid that gets himself killed?
Maybe his mom is gonna carry out the plan now.
Yeah, his mom's gonna be super disappointed. Although I did love the slow reveal of like what his Nen Beast does, and the fact that like you know it's just this poisonous cloud, and like the longer you're around it, it spreads, and the more favorable you think of it, which is like the perfect Nen Beast for a dictator.
Yeah, yeah. But then again, Hockenberg's is also pretty good
Well,
as
Hockenberg
a
is like
leadership one.
it's quickly becoming like the dark horse because like Hockenberg, it's interesting. He's probably like him and Benjamin are kind of like neck to neck for like I guess the favorite prince.
Um, yeah. It's interesting because Benjamin, I forget if it was his Nen Beast ability that was revealed, or was it
No,
his actual Nen
his
ability?
Nen Beast is still unknown. We haven't been told what it is. His Nen Beast is unknown. It's like what his Nen ability is, which is like the baton pass where he gets other people's abilities.
Yeah, after they die.
Yeah.
So that's a really cool ability for Benjamin. Um, and on top of that, he still has an Nen Beast, which we don't know what the hell is what it does.
Yeah, like the cards are stacked too high in Benjamin's favor. Like he's obviously not going to win. He's going to get far. There's going to be some sort of like critical hubris that's going to like bring him down. Just because like he's got the best personal army. He's like a buff guy who like breaks the necks of lions for fun.
Yeah.
That's what he does in his spare time. He knows about Nen. He's powerful enough that he could like use Nen to deflect bullets. We can only assume that because he's been doing his thing for so long, he's probably got like a few other Nen abilities from like dead soldiers who've died in his cause. He's got incredibly loyal people, and he's the first prince, so he feels like he should be. And he's got like lesser bodyguards who are all like monitoring all the other lesser princes.
Yeah. I mean, for now, Benjamin seems like he's got all the cards in his favor. Um, monitoring all the other princes, but I think Hockenberg right now is his biggest contender at the moment.
Well, the real wild card is Tesseric, and Tesseric.
Yeah.
The hype train for Tesseric is so fucking huge
Yeah.
that like we're just like waiting. We just know his Nen, whatever his Nen ability is going to be, it's going to be really fucked up and malicious.
Yeah. Pretty much. Oh, by the way, remember Camila? What was her? Was that her Nen power, or was that her Nen Beast that she used?
I think it was her Nen power because her Nen Beast is like this weird sea anemone. That's one thing that like Togashi like one thing I'd nitpick was like maybe a bad choice is that like it's not a good idea to like give people powers that are also like animals.
Oh yeah, so we potentially get mixed up between the Nen Beast and the
Yeah, because no, Camilla's is definitely that weird sea anemone monster, and her Nen power is the cat monster.
So we don't know what her Nen Beast
No,
is yet.
I don't think we know what it can do yet. Because it's funny. Like I'm really like interested about the storytelling and Togashi's doing because like originally it felt like he was like really dragging this out and like just making more and more layers of confusion. But like somebody must have kicked his ass or like made him because like it feels like things are accelerating. Because originally in like the chapter we come back on, it's like 72 hours until the banquet. And it feels like the banquet is being built up to like he seems to like to do this where it's like the chimera ant
Oh, the execution of the Chimera Ant plan.
the chimera ant palace invasion.
Yeah,
And he
yeah.
did something a little similar in York New City where it was like building up to like Gon and Killua's confrontation with the Phantom Trope, and then they like every chapter was like September the 2nd, which wasn't quite. I feel like the banquet is more like the palace invasion in terms of like this is the big event where like a bunch of people are gonna do shit. Melody's gonna try and get like Prince Fugetsu and the other one out. Melody's gonna like try and save them. All the other princes are gonna launch their Nen Beast attack. It's basically gonna be this horrible bloody banquet. And you know what? If he really wants to go ape shit, then the princes, the fakers, the second rakers, who are like all the crime lord bosses, like that woman with her like little Nen murder machine comedy, they like start killing people, and then
and they'll start killing other princes.
They'll get like a prince or two, and then they'll level up and they'll get Nen ability, and then then Hisoka or Crollo Lucifer is like chasing Hisoka, and then they get caught in the crossfire. And then you just have Kurapika, who's just like trying to analyze the situation, and then Togashi will employ his narrator bubble box, the clumsy, stupid narration bubble box.
We're gonna have a whole full page of text.
We won't even have any pictures. We'll just have half the page devoted to Togashi narration bubble box.
It's gonna turn into a fucking novel instead of fucking.
Kurapika knew he only had limited time to use Emperor time. He'd wasted it on the cockroach, but thankfully he had one power thanks to the power of the dolphin, and he used that just as Hisoka Maru was decapitating the palace dignitaries and the royal army. But then Prince Benjamin activates Succession to Rights, which is a Nen ability that covers everything in a dome of iron. But then the gate is warped by the Dragon Prince's fucking Nen ability, and then there's two realms of reality in the fucking banquet hall, and one realm of reality has the Phantom Trope, and the other half is Kurapika, but he's got to find Prince Wobble because Wobble's in a fucking other reality.
And don't forget the crime factions too. They're in the separate realities as well.
And then it's like 4 different realities, and all the princes are fighting. Oh my god, it's gonna be insane! I'm so hyped.
Yeah. Oh.
So I am happy that things are speeding along. I was really happy that we got to see Predator work, and Predator is probably like one of the most fun abilities we've seen in a while.
Yeah. It's there's a nice build up to it, and there was a payoff at the end, which it was pretty quick and easy, like in terms of how good that Nen ability felt to see.
Well, it's fun because we all love the restrictions. I love the fucking restriction system in terms of and the idea is that I need to perfectly analyze the ability, and the better I analyze the ability, the more I will come up with its perfect counter. But then I have to be forced into a state of Zetsu for 48 hours where I can't use Nen.
Right. And that I love that about Nen. I love the fucking restrictions. It's a great thing.
It's really fun. It was funny. Fun news. Zavul started reading Hunter x Hunter.
Yeah, you told me.
But now,
how far is he?
Unfortunately, he was up to the end of the Chimera Ant arc, 300 plus chapters in. But then he did the most Zavul thing, and he just stopped reading. And I haven't been able to get him to do that last third, because eventually what we're gonna do is we're gonna do
Has he not gotten up to the election arc?
No, I want him to read the election arc so badly. I love the election arc. I want him to meet my favorite villain, Pariston.
Yes. Oh my god. I think he would love Pariston.
Pariston is so good. Yeah. So just another point of discussion. All right. So I was a little harsh on Hunter x Hunter in my video. I did that mostly for comedy's sake. But I think the reason why I'm so harsh on maybe harsher on characters like Kurapika and Killua than I needed to be is because I think characters like Pariston, Ging are so much more interesting.
Yeah, they can be. I think Killua and Kurapika are definitely have a lot more interest than some of the other characters like
Well, we even had that like little cover page where they had the three guys, and they're like, "Put us in already." And I can't use Nen.
look, Gon, we've traveled with Gon through the whole manga. Like, his whole journey was to find his father, and he sacrificed, you know, he sacrificed his soul in order to beat the chimera ants because he was just fucking pissed. Like, now, like, that Gon has found his father, like, I think there's still like there's still something in Gon's character that still interests me. Like he is like basically the shonen protagonist, like a very like
Basic.
I suppose a basic shonen protagonist, but he he has a lot of room for growth, and I think that in itself is pretty interesting to see. Like, I want to see him grow within this Hunter x Hunter
Well, I
universe
mean,
and see him triumph over it. Like, because it's such a fucking crazy universe, and to actually see how Gon like succeeds in this universe is really fascinating to me.
so that's an interesting argument that like Gon is like the most boring protagonist, but he's in the most complex, complicated world.
Um, Essentially, yeah. Like, he has abilities where he's
Well,
more tuned to animals. He can
here's
smell, has extra senses of smell. He's got superhumans, Nen strength. Um,
here's an interesting question. What would happen if you flipped the protagonists of Midoriya and My Hero Academia, put them in the Hunter x Hunter world, and Gon in the My Hero Academia world?
so Medora like couldn't use Nen at first or something, and then
He'd
he
have to learn it.
he he gains Nen from some other teacher and fucks up his body afterwards or something.
Or maybe like creates like a all for one power or whatever. Let's assume that they have to like adapt to each other's. I guess the point I'm making with this dumb little fan fiction bullshit is that like Gon is a better protagonist for the simpler world of My Hero Academia, because Gon's so simple and he sees the best in everyone and he generally wants to help everyone get better and stronger. While
And
Midoriya is like more
he
of the
actually analyzes other people's abilities
yeah,
like
yeah.
thoroughly.
And that's like one of the things that I think like in My Hero Academia is like one of Horikoshi's like failings in like terms of writing Deku, is that like Deku's introduced as like the nerdy character who takes notes on everything and he's super smart, right? When has Deku ever done anything smart in
Mm,
any of his fights?
flicking fingers like
That's
at
it. The
Totoro.
only thing he does is he breaks his body and he punches things really hard. Which is fine. The series does a really good job of like selling that, like breaking his body and like punching shit really hard. But at the same time, like like
He
give us
made
like
shoot style. That's like he thought about it. Like,
oh my god, I'm gonna hit with my legs. It's such a brilliant fucking observation.
and he had to learn from what's his name's style, like Speed Guy's
From
style.
Ida's style.
Yeah, Ida.
So who do you think would be better at learning to hit stuff, Gon or Deku, or who do you think would be the better fit?
That's this is it's really hard to compare these two.
They're very
Uh,
different series, but I
and
think in a weird way, just on a surface level, Midoriya would be better as like the protagonist of Hunter x Hunter. In terms of like just being this overly analytical guy, it'd be fun to have a Nen fights, and Gon would suit the simpler nature of My Hero Academia.
but the thing about okay, the thing about Hunter x Hunter, it's already like layered in complexity. Like, to have like sort of like a simple character who relies on gut instinct to still make it in this like super complex world, I think is a great contrast to the Hunter x Hunter world itself. Like
Oh,
to see like how, a guy who, he's kind of like more of a simple-minded guy, and he relies mostly on his gut to get by. Like all the complexities thrown at him from Hunter x Hunter. I think that is a great contrast to the series.
that's a very interesting thing, and I'm gonna die to hear like what people say in the comments below, whether or not they agree with you and they think Gon is interesting because of that, versus
Yeah.
me who just think he's boring and is like, all right, Greg, I'm gonna give you 20 chapters. What would you rather have? 20 chapters of Ging doing shit or Gon?
Uh, King or Gone
Yeah, yeah.
doing shit. Well, I would like to learn more about Ging. I feel like the series is now leaning more towards Ging's side than it is Gon's side. Uh, Ging, like he has a greater understanding of the Hunter universe right now, and I want to learn more about the Hunter universe right now. I it'd probably be Ging right now, but Ging is related to Gon. Ging
Yeah,
is
yeah.
like Gon's relative, so then we could do Gon afterwards. We could have 20 chapters of Gon.
But you're still leaning towards Ging.
Yeah, but Gon is like it's like part of the family business, you
And
know.
how badass would that be if, like, at the banquet ceremony, Ging just comes and he's like rude to everyone, and then all the shit comes down, and then Ging's like uses his whatever Nen powers to like start neutralizing shit.
That Ging will neutralize everything at the banquet. Like, oh boy. Uh,
We haven't seen him, but we have to assume that he's on that stupid ship.
yeah, I wonder what Ging could do, like to neutralize like all the crazy ass shit that's happening at the banquet. Like, because I assume like, if there was something that would try and fuck up Ging's plans, like Ging would have a counter measure to not make sure his plans wouldn't fuck up. So
Well,
like basically the plan that would help fuck him up would be like the boat burning down and all chaos breaking loose and the boat sinking.
well, one of my favorite scenes is when Ging like slowly takes over Pariston Hill's like hunter expedition group, and he
Yeah.
just does it for the sole sake of fucking with Pariston.
Yeah.
We have no idea what Pariston wants. We just know that Pariston wants to be in control, and he just wants to be a dick to the Hunter Association. And then he's
Right.
like, "You're ruining it."
Yeah. And Pariston's like, oh, I hate this man. But by the way, we haven't even talked about Fugetsu
Okay, yeah, that's true. That is the
teleporting out of the first floor onto the third floor or something, right?
that was interesting to see Cow Guy like sort of interview her and sort of like try and get her, but she's like terrified and she doesn't trust Cowman.
Yeah. And when the crime syndicate was talking about, oh, I'll give you more points if you kill a prince or something.
Yeah, I
Well,
think for print it's like 1 point per person, 10 points for a Nen user, and it's either 20 or 50 points per prince.
so potentially speaking, if they go ahead with Fugetsu and I forget the rest of the names, but
Kacha,
her
I
sister
think. Maybe.
Kachan and Melody's plan, like, and if they escape, out of the first floor into or out of the frying pan and into the fire, so to speak, they could run into those crime syndicates, and they'll be easy targets for the
Well,
ones who want to accumulate points.
Yeah, that's actually a really good setup, especially since Melody really isn't a good combat focus. Do you think things are going to go well for Fugetsu and Kachan? I feel like Togashi's trying to make them as sympathetic as possible, but this really is like a viper's nest. It's like King's Landing. Everyone's talking. Like, I love that scene where like the guy seems sympathetic, but like Melody's like, I can't trust you. I don't know if you're being controlled by some sort of Nen power. There's something not right in your heart's rhythm.
Right. And that's interesting that Melody's kind of like a lie detector or a walking lie detector in a way. So like she has the ability to be able to gather around people, really trustworthy people to help coordinate and plans and whatnot. I'm sure there's other abilities Melody can do with her music and whatnot.
Yeah, there might be some sort of combat ability, but as of right now, it's funny. I remember I was talking to Zavul, and he really liked her. He liked how sweet she was.
Who, Melody?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Melody is a great character. I like
Yeah,
her.
yeah, she's a great supporting character. It's kind of weird how endearing she is for like this little ugly mole creature.
Yeah, and like her biggest goal is to find like this devil song and whatnot, and this is what it did to me.
Yeah.
After listening to it for
For
five
5 seconds,
seconds.
I'm now this horribly scarred mole creature. But I'm still very good with music. Yeah, it is definitely fun to have like all of like so many of the previous hunters we've seen were all working as bodyguards.
Yeah. Um. So what was I gonna say about
What
this?
Melody and Kachan? Are you rooting for them to
Yeah.
get away? Do
Oh,
you think like them getting away will somehow allow them to break
yeah.
this succession war?
They've already shown child strangulation, so we already know they're not afraid to kill off children.
Well,
Like,
here's the question: like, is Tagashi heartless enough to kill off children that he's like trying to make us like and feel bad for? Because like
he
the other
he
child
can
that got
he can
killed,
go
we
any
didn't know
way.
anything about them.
That's true. I think it could really go either way. Um. Yeah. I really don't know.
I see this going one of two ways. Either there's going to be a huge clusterfuck, at the banquet, and it'll be like the Hisoka Krollo fight times 10, or Tagashi will find out, will like basically undercut us, kind of like the way how he subverted like. The way you expected the Chimera Ant arc to work is that like Gon gets his superpower up and then he fights and kills the king, right? That's how this shit works.
Sort of, yeah.
But
But the king is like insanely strong.
yeah, yeah, and Togashi like subverts that by having the king get poisoned, and nobody kills the king. The king gets killed by the malice of man.
Yeah.
So what he
But
could do is like set up
the rose bomb.
this incredibly complicated bullshit, and then just like someone does something that like causes the entire succession war to completely fall apart.
Yeah. That would be kind of cool. But in the next chapter, the following chapter, the king even says like, "There's nothing I can do to stop the succession war."
Well, the king is not. Oh, so you want to get into the next chapter of you want to phase this into 182?
Yeah, sure. Like,
So that's an interesting point, but like the king is not a reliable person. Like we know he's got this secret chamber where he's like storing all the dead bodies, and he's doing something unsavory for it. I don't know.
right.
We don't know what, but we just know that we can't trust this guy. But maybe there's some sense of truth. I do love like the fact that the king is like all of these things are all things that you will have to do to become a king. I loved him bringing up the trolley problem. Whose lives are more important? The princes on one track,
Yeah,
or
that was such
all
a
the
really cool reference to like that crazy psychological problem. It's like I don't feel like Takashi would do. Takashi's the kind of person who would pull off something like that. Him and uh God, fucking Metal Gear guy. I can't.
Hideo Kojima.
Yeah, Hideo Kojima would bring up the fucking trolley fucking problem. He's like, only those two are the people I could think of who would just randomly bring that up. Who'd just be like, do you remember about the trolley problem? Have you ever heard of the trolley problem?
Well, it was a perfect example because, like, it makes me wonder, like, how well Kakin is like. It feels like it's designed to be like Saudi Arabia,
Yeah.
but like, now it's like, the king is a higher goal where it seems like, to truly rule effectively, what's more important, having a good prince that can. What's important, the lives of my children, or having an effective leader who's willing to make good choices for the greater good of the people's nations?
Yeah. And
Which is a fucked up way to go about it, but sure, okay. I guess it's worked for you for a couple centuries.
yeah, that's it is kind of fucked up. Like it makes you think, like, why continue on with the succession war thing? Like, why have they been doing this generation after generation?
Because
Hockenberg was probably not the first one to try and stop it.
assumingly in other generations, it'd be really interesting if Togashi gives us a flashback of the king and we see his succession war and him killing his siblings.
Oh, that would be awesome. Oh my god, I would love that. I would love some backstory of like how his succession war went.
That would be yeah. I would love to see like what a younger version of the king looks like, because the king looks like a goofy character. He's like, on a character design standpoint, he's got this tick, hoy, oh hoy. He's like only two steps removed from like King Taco from like fucking. Oh, you haven't met King Taco. That's a little bit of a spoiler. They introduced a character named King Taco. Or you know what? I'll give you something you remember.
Is that like from One Piece or something?
Yes.
Okay,
he's a minor
know.
character, but okay. Like he's one or two steps of goofiness removed from the Boxing King from One Piece. You remember him?
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I remember.
I'm the king. I got a little crown, and I go punching. That's what I do.
Okay. Yeah.
He's one or two steps removed from that, but not that far.
But you could still see like he's got a good sense of wisdom, somewhat a good head on his shoulders if he's like the king of Kakin, and he supposedly survived a succession war previous to this one. So it gives you a little bit of backstory of like this might be how he got to be king.
Yeah, I am really interested in like. I don't know if we'll get that, but I wouldn't mind learning that story. And I also like Hockenberg's like tactic of like going 4 days in a row so that people don't like suspect them, and then like he has all of his guards like lift up their weapons and like so they forced to see the king.
I love that little detail. That was a great little touch to it. It felt like if it again, it felt like some like Metal Gear Solid shit. It was like. It's like it's a cool detail, it shows like the soldier holding the gun, and then like
psychologically after 3 times the human condition expects the same thing to happen every day. This is called the Kramer fallacy, studied by psychologist Palmer Kramer in 1972, Zurich, Russia.
Yeah, something like that.
It is a great moment. I really enjoyed Hockenberg. He seems like the most benevolent prince, and I love that he like took action. He like puts a fucking gun to his fucking dad's head.
Yeah, and then tried to shoot and kill himself. That took a lot of like fucking guts and determination to try and stop the succession war. Like you think like maybe he would just like kind of like chicken out after his plan failed, but he went balls out, and then he really took what the king's advice. He really took to heart the king's advice of like the whole trolley problem thing. He's like he didn't really like take any time to like mourn or grieve like, oh, I can't believe I have to go through this, but he really like steeled his nerves and like actually. Like it seemed like he's turning to the dark side almost. Like
like I thought that was really interesting. That like I love the depths of darkness where he tries to kill himself, and then we get like a JoJo stand reference, because like the most famous thing about stands when they're first introduced.
No.
Oh no! In the beginning of JoJo Part 3, where the iconic stands are introduced, and obviously the Nen Beasts are very. Like, this is a very direct homage. When, like, Jotaro Kujo, the next JoJo, he's, like, found in prison. He's like, I put myself in prison because I have an evil spirit. Then his grandfather, who you're seeing right now in part two, Joseph Joestar, comes in and says, "That's not an evil spirit. That's a stand." And then we see that, like, he's this, his stand, like, he tries to shoot himself, but his stand catches the bullet and prevents it from happening.
Oh, that's really cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I remember that from the OVA a little bit.
You probably, it's like one of them very iconic scenes of JoJo. So, to have, like, the Nen beasts catch bullets, it is a very explicit homage towards that.
Yeah. Oh, that's really cool. I didn't get that reference at first, but I mean, we we talked about the Nen Beast being like a reference to stands too, when they were sort of in back when they were introduced. But now seeing this example, this is like a direct homage to that scene.
Yeah, it's a very direct homage. And the interesting thing about Nen Beast is that, in the last chapter, we learned that they can be killed without, harming the host.
Wait, what?
Well, in JoJo, the logic is that, like, if you hurt a stand, you'll hurt the user, right?
Oh, right, yeah.
And now we see that, like, you can kill a Nen Beast or disable a Nen Beast or trap a Nen Beast, but, the user will be completely unaware.
But maybe they'll feel the effects afterwards.
Sail fucking didn't.
No, this latest chapter, you saw he looked like he was poisoned. He was like
no. I think I'm pretty confident, because, like, explicitly in the last chapter, his Nen Beast gets eaten. We get like a panel or two, and he's just fine. And then the next chapter, he's dead, which presumes that he was killed through some other means.
Or does it? Maybe he's like, his body was slowly dying, that his Nen Beast now was gone.
We'll have to see later, but I think the implication that I got out of that is that, like, once his Nen Beast is gone, he had no protection, and he was basically just, a fat pig lying in wait for any means of assassination.
I suppose, yeah. That could be it. Maybe he got like a heart attack.
I think maybe. I think the point is that, like, the Nen Beasts are like this final defensive barrier, and like, they're going to keep the prince alive. And as we saw with the bullets, they'll protect their prince. But if they're gone, then the prince is just kind of fucked unless they have Nen powers.
Yeah, I suppose so. That makes sense.
But yeah, Sail. It was funny. Someone in the comments, this wonderful gentleman called Hunter x Hunter 2011 Dick Riding Association. or as I like to colloquially refer to him, Mr. Dick Riding Association.
Yeah.
Mr. Dick Riding Association was like, R.I.P. Sail. You died as you lived. A fat, ignorant guy.
Yeah.
Press F for Sail.
I think that's pretty appropriate for his character.
There was a part of me that wanted to see, like, just like in the same way, it's kind of fun to see, like, Trump pretend to be an adult and then the UN laugh at him. Like I wanted to see Sail, like, try and be an adult and then get, like, completely undermined and just shown to be, because, yeah, I love this succession war can suck my dick. And he had this great Nen Beast, which is like this spitting moon, this obnoxious moon, fucking disgusting thing. And, I was curious to see him do more, but obviously I'm not, super sad that he's dead.
So, Sally died. So that's one more prince down. How many do we have left?
Pull up the Wikipedia. I can't do it without, there's like 14 princes and we've got 2 down, so there's like 12 left, I think. We still got a lot of princes, and I think we're going to lose like at least 4 or 5, possibly more at the banquet.
Yeah, let's check it out. See what we got.
How many are we looking at?
I'm gonna look. Let's see.
Look
Cock
faster,
and
or else
roll.
I'm gonna start singing, the Green Goblin song that I made you watch. All the brazen boys and girls. Dun, 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 dun. I can't get that song out of my head.
So there's two there's two princes that have died out of 14 princes. Sally Sally and Mimose. And Camila is, incarcerated right now.
Yeah, but well, she's in a bad position.
And Fugetsu and Kacho, they're trying to go with this really risky plan that will possibly get them killed, either way, out of the frying pan into the fryers, so to speak. Because we know, like, we kind of have an idea now of like how weak their Nen Beast powers are right now.
Mm-hmm.
But actually, it doesn't. It's weird. It doesn't like. It's not like typical Nen Beasts.
Yeah, it's weird. It's more like a Nen
It could be like
ability.
a
It feels
yeah.
more like a Nen ability than like a Nen Beast. Because I don't know if we've seen their Nen Beasts. I feel like we haven't.
Yeah, as especially Kachos. I mean, Melody did mention it before. It's like, oh, maybe their Nen Beasts are like symbiotic, or like they share Nen Beasts or something like that because they're so closely. They're like close sisters.
That'd be interesting to see. But so we've got, so how many are there? Are there 14 or are there
Yeah,
12?
there's 14 princes total, and two of them died.
So we got 12 left. I think Hockenberg, like, I feel like the ones that we've seen the most, spent the most time with are going to be like survive. I feel like Hockenberg, Tesseric, Benjamin, Camila. I feel like, your one with that stupid lizard monster is going to like die.
Oh, Miriam.
No,
Uh,
Thupa, I think.
huh?
Thupa, I think, is the name of the prince.
Oh, his chameleon car.
Yeah. I think he's going down.
His Nembe power sounds like so dumb.
Yeah. I think the hippie guy is probably going to die. The one with the penis monster.
Oh wait,
The guy who
there was a chapter where they randomly explained some Nembe's powers,
yeah.
right?
Then there's the like Buddhist looking guy who's got the sun that like spits out tokens that give people powers.
Yeah. Wait, was that confirmed? There's
Yeah,
confirmed how what his Nembe's
yeah.
does.
They explained it like spits out tokens, and under random circumstances they activate multiple powers.
Oh, okay.
I think he's probably not long for this world either.
No, he doesn't really like have a good grasp on like this whole Nenbe situation. Like, I mean, he's starting to a little bit, but he's not. He's not prepared. Not like Benjamin or Hockenberg or
It's funny,
Tesseric.
but Benjamin's being set up as like the most qualified and the most competent, but I feel like his overconfidence is going to somehow make him arrogant, and he's going to make some fatal mistake, and Tesseric's going to take advantage of it.
Right. Who knows? Maybe Kacho and Fugetsu going to be the last ones standing, and they'll win the succession war.
Well, the real question is Krapika through his guard dutying bodies? Is he gonna like somehow get Wobble on the head of the throne?
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah, forgot about Wobble. Yeah,
Or
we don't know what Wobble's power is gonna do.
Yeah, that's true. We don't know what Wobble's Nen Beast is capable of. But what do you think of Hockenberg's big Nen Beast reveal?
Hockenberg's. That's pretty strong. It kind of reminds me of Sally's, but a little bit like.
Well, it happens like, much faster, and it seems like it's like he's like kind of like he kills one of his followers, but then he gains a new follower.
Right. So he can. It's like part enhancement ability, part like
emission.
Not emission.
It feels
but
like emission. He's shooting shit.
Manipulation.
Oh
like
yeah.
He can control people afterwards. So it's like because when they're all in sync, like they get this like huge enhancement aura around them,
Yeah, that's another
and
thing
they
I'm
get
curious
stronger.
is that like that's what they said Hockenberg is like really dangerous because when he has people together and they like pray, you know, they have like the highest class Nen or like the most finest, most powerful Nen that's like so disturbing. It's like, oh, 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 oh.
Yeah, exactly. This is like that orgasm face.
Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah, you know the classic anime, oh my god face. Oh, oh no, I can't believe it's Ryatsu. It's so powerful.
Yeah, exactly.
That chakra levels are unbelievable.
I kind of want to look up the crime families
Oh,
now.
you want to hear something funny though? Apparently, when the Prince Benjamin's soldier was like trying to capture his ability, like the literal translation was King of Games or Yu-Gi-Oh.
Yeah, I remember reading that.
I thought that that was funny where he like he has a card and I guess his ability is like, you know, he can steal people's Nen abilities and put them into game cards that he can like deploy against. But it didn't work. He's
No,
completely dismantled. I wonder if that guy's gonna like tell him any of the secrets of like what Benjamin's planning, and that'll be like
and
something.
that would be a thwart to Benjamin for sure. Like because now that guy is has betrayed Benjamin and his trust. So no, I wonder if Benjamin is actually informed that his guard betrayed him now.
That's a good question. Maybe like I mean, he knew that he wanted him to capture the ability, but and he knew that like he didn't respond back. So, you know, I think that's enough to like tell him that whatever he was trying to do didn't work out.
Yeah, yeah.
But it was definitely some good shit. This is a good chapter of Hunter x Hunter. So, what would you rate chapter 180 or 2 or 381?
381. You know, there was a confusing scene between Melody and the other bodyguard that kind of threw me off,
Well,
but
I think that
this
that implication of that scene was that like Melody tried to help him, and then the bodyguard was kind of like dismissive, and you were just supposed to know through the silent storytelling of the art that was like what was happening.
I was just happy that Hunter x Hunter was back. So I give that chapter like an 8.5.
Yeah, that was a solid 8. I love the payoff of Predator. It felt really, really satisfying to like see something like that come to fruition, given how many fucking plot threads we have. Did they ever deal with that snake guy who had like the snake ability that drains people? Was he ever killed or whatnot? Is he still out there?
Oh, the assassin,
Yeah,
the one who can like send out like three snakes.
yeah, the Nen snakes that drain blood.
We don't know. We still don't know who that is.
I think we know who he is. He was like talking in silent. If you go back a few chapters, you know who it is because he's like talking about like I'm gonna activate silent majority. The only thing
Right.
is that Krapika doesn't know who he is.
No, no. That was remember only a certain person could see the silent majority ability.
Yeah, but there was the guy who activated it, and that's the guy who. God damn it!
But who is the guy who activated
You know
silent?
what? Here, go to Hunter. Go into Google, type in "silent majority Hunter Hunter X Hunter Hunter Wikipedia" and see if it comes up, and then you'll see the guy who used it. Got anything?
Who is the silent majority user? I don't think they know. Nobody knows.
I'm pretty sure they know, and I would like show it to you just for spite, but I can't right now.
I'm gonna look up silent majority.
We know who it is. It's a guy. It's a guy with like a vest. It's not a secret like many other
Oh
things.
no, that's the ability. That's not the guy that actually uses it.
The guy says activate silent majority, and they show him.
when they activate silent majority, the guy in the vest is the ability. It's like
No, no,
a
no. But
puppet,
like,
so to
yeah,
speak.
the puppet is the ability, but they show a guy in a vest, and he's the one who activates the puppet, which deploys the snakes.
What?
God damn it!
Oh,
After
I'm gonna
we're
look at this.
how much more time are we gonna waste in silent majority?
I'm looking for it. I'm looking for it. Uh, at the end of the lecture, he wonders if the user of silent majority is planning on killing one person per day. They don't.
Graphica wonders that, but the silent majority user uses silent
But
majority.
this is also one of Benjamin's personal soldiers. He wonders who the silent majority user is.
Well, how would he like if he didn't have the ability? How would he even know what it's called?
He doesn't know what it's called, but he's wondering if the user of that ability is gonna kill someone one person per day.
But he can't wonder what the ability is if he doesn't know what. You see what
He's
I'm saying?
not wondering about the ability. He's wondering if the assassin is going to kill one person per day. We don't know who the assassin is, so I'm just reading the Wikipedia right now.
All right. Well,
This is what the Wikipedia says.
Okay.
We don't know who the assassin is.
I think we do.
Nope.
But enough with silent majority. What would you give chapter 382?
382. Sally died. Hockenberg. Oh yeah. This is another 8.5 from 8. I'm digging Hunter x Hunter.
I'm surprised he didn't give it a 9. I thought that scene with the king was fucking excellent.
It was a great scene, but I'm looking for something really big for a 9.
Fair enough. To me, I thought it was a really good chapter, and I like how the speed of the story is progressing. How we're gonna get to the banquet, and the banquet's gonna be like a shit show. So here's a question: do you think we're gonna get to the banquet next chapter, or like 2 or 3 chapters from now?
Maybe not this coming chapter, but maybe next 2 chapters.
Yeah, that sounds fair. I hope it's the next chapter, but I wouldn't be too surprised if we have to wait 2 more chapters. But at least it's coming sooner than we thought.
Yeah, Togashi has done this before. He's like built up, this event, just like you said with the Chimera Arc attack on the palace. So I assume it's going to be something similar to that.
Yeah, I could see that too. All right, so that was a very lengthy discussion on Hunter x Hunter. Hopefully it gives people who love hearing us talk about our favorite shonen series and reflect on it some enjoyment. Succession War is going well. We're happy to have it back. I hope we get more than just 10 chapters. Togashi said something that he was like feeling guilty that he actually wanted to finish Hunter x Hunter before he dies.
Yeah, I hope he does. I hope he does feel guilty. He needs to finish it before he dies. You should be ashamed of yourself, Togashi. Finish it.
Finish it. If the One Punch Man could be drawn by the Eye Shield 21 artist, then you should swallow your pride and just write out the manuscripts and scripts and have someone else draw it.
Yeah, get Toriyama to come up with the story if you want to hand off Hunter x Hunter after you die or something like that.
Or Kishimoto, who's just like being lazy and like not doing anything with Boruto.
You want to give Kishimoto Hunter x Hunter?
No. I'm just saying. I thought you said like if you want to be lazy, you have.
Another artist draw for you.
Yeah, or write the story. But
wait, no, Togashi or Metal Gear Solid guy. Those are the only two I trust with this story right now.
Yeah, would you like it if Tagashi like let Boichi draw Hunter x Hunter?
Boichi? Oh, wait, that's the Dr. Stone guy, right?
Yeah, that's the Doctor Stone man.
I wouldn't mind. I wouldn't mind.
I would like to see that. I would be very curious to see what that would look like. But we're getting Hunter x Hunter, so things are good. This is a good fall season, best fall season. We're very lucky. We got not one but two hiatus breaks in 1 year.
And the other one was Berserk, right?
Well, Berserk's been kind of on and off, quasi hiatus, and then
Oh,
comes back. But no,
oh, you mean for
Hunter x
just
Hunter
Hunter? Hunter.
came back from hiatus earlier this year. Then it went on hiatus again, and then it came back.
Yeah, that's pretty good considering our standards for Hunter x Hunter right now.
Yeah, yeah. It's twice in the same year is very good. All right, so I think that finishes up our thoughts on Hunter x Hunter. Any final thoughts, Goro?
Um, I'm most looking forward to the spiders right now. I want to see what the spiders getting into with the crime family.
That is true. Well, here's a question. You could pick only two things to see in the next chapter. What would you pick?
The spiders and the crime families and and Alumi and Hisoka.
Good picks. I'd pick the spiders and Tesseract because I'm really curious to see what Tesseract's Nen power is.
Okay. Yeah.
We'll see on the Wheel of Hunter who's right.
Oh, I'm curious what people in the comments say. What
Yeah.
people in the comments think.
What do you
What they're
guys
looking
think?
forward to
I'm gonna
most.
get this video out by today, so it'll be before the next chapter comes out. So let us know in the comments before what you think we're gonna see and what you'd like to see.
Yes. I'm curious too. I want to see what people think.
All right. So thank you for hanging out with us. Goro will catch up on One Piece and Doctor Stone one of these days, and then
Hopefully.
then we'll be back. Motherfucker, do it during lunch between painting.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
All right. So thank you for hanging out with us, and remember, lobsters and tennis, but don't you grab it.
All right.
All right. Now to let you free.